Hi, my name is Noshad. Some of you guys know me as Sean. This is Spurs Video Podcast. If I appear a little bit jaded, it's because this morning I had to get up at 2:30 to have my pre-Ramadan fasting meal. I don't eat that much. I just have like a sandwich and a bit of cereal. But water-wise, I try and drink about, I don't know, goodness how much water, and I'm not part camel and drinking that much water at that time. It really affects it affects my ability to sleep today anyway, so it is what it is. Obviously lots happened between my last video when we signed Paulinho. We played in a, I don't know, what would you call that, a bog of a pitch in Hong Kong. We've signed a couple of players, we've sold a player, but not the player everyone thought we'd sell, and we're still trying to hang on to a player who everyone thought we'd sell. So let's crack on. We signed Nathan Chadley. He looks like a very decent player from what I can see. He obviously scored against us home and away when we played for Twente, when we were in Champions League. To be back in that again. We've been so close, how many times? But yeah, he looks like a decent player. But again, anyone can look wonderful on YouTube. It's not, how easy to adapt from the Dutch league to the Premier League. Some players do brilliantly. Ben Nistelrooy obviously is one that springs to mind. Bergkamp via Italy, but I think we can all say that Bergkamp was one of the finest players in the Premier League, even if he did play for the Goons. No, but there are Vertonghen, who's obviously one of ours, and he's done very well for us. Obviously, we'll talk about him later in his injury. Looks like a very good player. I'm not too sure how it works in Belgium, because obviously they've got some incredible players. De Bruyne, obviously Hazard, Fellaini, was it Bitskool, one that plays at Zenit? They've got some incredibly good midfield, so if he gets regular football for that side, he's definitely someone you should be taking note of. Does score, he's a goal scoring winger. I wouldn't want to say he's Ribery-esque. That's who he reminds me of, someone who cuts into his stronger right foot. And if he can be as half successful for us as Ribery has for Bayern Munich, then I think we'll be laughing. 7 million, that is a really good deal. It's the same price you pay for Clint Dempsey. And there's a rumour about him going to the MLS. Me personally, I don't see it. I think Clint Dempsey's 30, 31, so I'm not saying he wouldn't do well in him. I think he'd kill it, but I think he's got another 2 more years before he goes to the MLS. I don't know what someone said they saw him in Seattle, or I don't know, maybe he's got close there. He meets from Texas. I don't know why. I don't know, some shit's gone. I don't know, something. It's apparently it's a rumor, but until if I see him on the subs bench against Monaco, then I'll think who knows bollocks, as most of this ITK stuff is. I wouldn't dismiss the ability of people to have ITK. Just ask J.K. Rowling. Sometimes people say things that they shouldn't, but they do, and it just happens. But it's just, I found it very interesting that with the Message Hadley thing, not many ITKs knew about this. We were linked to it, definitely. We were linked to him, we were linked to Bernard, but then we suddenly signed him, and you don't hear anyone go, oh yeah, we're going to sign, we signed Message Hadley. But definitely looks good. I think he's someone that definitely could give Lennon. It'll be interesting how we do it. Obviously, with last season, Lennon was injured. We missed him because, as good as Bale is, the thing with having both Bale and Lennon and their speed on both either flank is that, especially when they switch flanks and they're very hard to keep track of, is that the way we used to play when we had Luke and Rafa, it was that these two guys would be on their flanks, stretching the pitch. Luke and Rafa would go into the spaces and start playing their football, and it was beautiful to watch. The way we're set up now, there's no point having width from one side if you have width from the other, because everyone will just slant over. He offers another option, and I think if you look at it, our 4 wing options, assuming Gareth Bale stays, Bale, Lennon, Chadley, and Townsend, and that I think is a pretty good set of options to have. Whether Townsend stays, I don't know. He's 22. And I'm going to also talk about Corker leaving, but you want to be playing regular football. Between the ages of 18 and 22, you've got to be playing at least 50, 60 to at least 60 to 80 games. You've at least had to play that many games. But we'll see. He could be a late bloomer, and I think he's a very talented player. And I think we saw what he could do against QPR. He's done superbly. I didn't see enough of QPR to say, oh, he was their best player, but when I did see him, he did play well. He's obviously, he knows where the net is. He's not afraid to take a shot on goal. Who knows? Maybe this is the season where it's his tipping point. He just goes on, does even better. We'll see. Obviously, as on his hamstrings, and he tends to get injured. Definitely, especially when that is a common injury with any player that runs fast. Hamstrings are definitely an injury problem. But I had the same problem with my hamstrings, causing John's how many injuries. So definitely having both Chadley and Townsend is going to be a very, very good option to have. So I'd like to see how that one pans out. So yeah, definitely I'm good with Chadley, a great price. Soldado, I think, is a good signing at 26 million. An expensive signing. That's probably our record transfer fee. But I think was it 2 years ago? What was it? Darren Bent went to Aston Villa for 25 million. So I don't know how old he is, but I think Soldado's a much better player. He's got great movement. Those of you who may notice, I'm a fan of the UFC, and one of the reasons I'm a fan of UFC is I actually studied an art within Jiu-Jitsu, and I studied Muay Thai as well. And one of the best teachers of Jiu-Jitsu has said that, Jiu-Jitsu is an art of inches. And the reason I say that, I'm explaining an example. There's a choke, an arm triangle choke, and I pulled it off. I thought I pulled it off on the guy I was sparring with, and I really thought I got it. However, when I went to lock, it was here, not here. About 1 inch. Made it go on. And the guy, it wasn't on to be completely fair, and I didn't have it full positioning, but because I didn't have it there, I had it locked and sealed, and I couldn't make the adjustment. Tap wasn't known. The reason I say this is because the movement Soldado has shown, he's a goal poacher. Yeah, he's a predator, but to get into those spots, when you've got defenders watching you, watching the ball, trying to keep track of you, the ability to create just pocket space. Just enough space to read where the ball's going to go, create enough pocket space to be there, and to then open your body up and take the shot. It's a real art. It really is. And we saw that. Best example, if you look, obviously, say what you want about the European Super Cup. I don't know if that's what they call it nowadays. You saw Falcao did against Chelsea last year. His just timing was just beautiful. Soldado has got exquisite timing, and he just finds himself in those little pockets of space. He'll find himself in there, and with the speed of our wingers and just our general speed, the way he quickly move the ball about, definitely he fits perfectly. And I think one of the things that bodes well for us, I don't want to compare Soldado to Falcao, and Falcao, I think, is right now at the current apex of that, is the apex predator and that kind of box predator kind of thing. But this is a formation that AVB, has used very well at Porto. He's got a very similar player in Soldado to Falcao. Maybe not. I don't know if Soldado. You could compare the Soldado now to Falcao, say 2 years ago. But from what I'm saying is that style of play, the ability to find those little pockets of space, I think will be absolutely vital. And I think you've got players like Leonard who love to cut it back. Bale who put a cross in. We've had loads of different names for Soldado. I think the best example I'd say is a non-lazy Pab. We saw Pavlyuchenko in that game against Birmingham, and man, the skill and the ability that he showed. I thought, shit, why didn't he do this every game? He's so good. I mean, this is what we know Pad can do, but he plays hot and cold. I think Soldado's got some very good movement. He's definitely hard working, and he will create pockets of space for our players to run into. So I think that's very, very important. And more importantly, because of his threat and his presence around that, players won't know whether to, you know, hold that high line because, quick pass over, quick pass through, he's on goal. He's a professional fouler, he's going to miss or the goalkeeper to save it, but it's very dangerous. So I think it really complements our style. We do take shots on the box. Obviously, Gareth Bale and Mr. Dembele. I think in this hopefully this new 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, we'll see him in a more advanced position, and he will take more shots on goal, play more slide throughs. So I think it's going to be good for him. I think it will help liberate Mr. Dembele hopefully. And Lewis Holtby, I think it'll be interesting which one of those two. I love Mr. Dembele. I think he's an excellent player. He was carrying injury last year. He's settling into a new team, but I think obviously he's now had a full season pre-season. Hopefully he's over his injury. I think we're going to see the best Mr. Dembele next season, and the best midfielder we've ever seen so far. And if he can cast off the shackles, so to speak, he's not very defensively minded because he knows he's got, say, Paulinho behind him and Sandro, so he can play with more attacking game, so to speak. But while still providing those incredible tackles and interceptions and turnovers that he does. One of the things I think about Soldado is that I think we'll still keep adding, and my argument is this: yes, we're paying him 100k a week, which is a bucket load of cash. Man City, I think, are paying 60, 70 grand of it a week. But you name me a player that we can get on cheap fee and low wages that will do a job as good, as fit and motivated as anybody else can do. I've said this on Spurs show, I've said this on Spurs Forum. It's hard to be a fan of Adebayor when he played for Arsenal, because obviously it's Arsenal. But it's even harder to be a fan of Didier Drogba. I remember a few years ago, the BBC thing, which is who's the better striker, Drogba or Eto'o. And if you look at, say, Drogba, I honestly think he's one of the best strikers in Premier League history. Obviously, people say, oh, you obviously I think Henry's probably the best striker I've seen in Premier League history. But I think at times Drogba's up there. He's quick, very skillful, and when he chose to be, very, very powerful. Except when he was fouled and he'd go down and like, oh, I'm dying. I always remember a game with Chelsea Arsenal, and Fabregas, I think, fouls him, and Fabregas, I think it's a genuine foul, but he tries to make things like, look at the size of me, look at the size of Drogba. How the hell can I possibly foul him? But go figure. But no, I think Adebayor, on his day, especially in 2007, 2008, he showed an incredible ability. I think he's got like 30 goals, and even we saw him when he played for us in that loan season. He scored 19 goals, 12 assists. So we know a fit and motivated Adebayor when he's on his game is superb. And I think we've got Soldado, who's like the box predator, great movement. You've got Addy, who's a power centre forward. He's a pivot. You can play out with a forward pivot, I guess. And you've got JD, who just plays off the shoulder. Similar style to Soldado in some respects. They're both predators. Slightly different. He likes to play more off the shoulder and break in. But I think we've got three very different strikers, three good strikers, and I think the only team there are teams I think have got better strikers, but I think we've got a very good set of strikers there. Manu obviously with Van Persie and Rooney and Chicharito and Welbeck probably have the best set of strikers. Closely followed by, I guess, obviously I don't know how good Negredo and Jovic will be in the Premier League, but they've got guys, they've got Dzeko and they've got Aguero, who are four very good strikers. Obviously, Torres is not the player he once was, but we know that how good Dembele is. He was great against us, and obviously Lukaku did very well against us last season. So Chelsea have got three very good strikers. Arsenal, yeah, do you know what? I don't want to, sully or dirty my YouShubes. I mentioned that team from Woolwich, but they've got they've got Giroud, who's a good striker. Walcott, who's a good striker. Podolski. I wouldn't say he's a brilliant striker. He wasn't at Bayern Munich, but he's a definitely good player. So I think our three strikers and choice we have, and I think it's strong to say Man U, Man City, or even, but definitely maybe Chelsea, Arsenal. I think it's comparable. I wouldn't say it's strong, but definitely it's comparable. It's definitely not a million miles away anyway. And so I think, if you compare that to, I don't know, the Liverpool free choice of Suarez, Sturridge, and Barini, I don't think Suarez and Sturridge are very good players, but Barini, I'm not too sold on. But so yeah, definitely I think those three are good. Stephen Colker, that was a surprise uh, departure. I voted Stephen Corker. I actually followed him when he went to, I don't know if he got down to Bristol, but I was speaking to the Bristol City fans about him. I said, look, how's it going for you guys? And he said, you know what? You've got a very special player here. So special that we got to keep him. Yeah, because that's how much they rated him. He was, and then he went on, had a very good season with Swansea. In that Brendan Rodgers side, all playing centre half, did pretty well. And they didn't kept out their captain for a while. So he obviously, wasn't that terrible. Um, Obviously, he was fourth choice, when it came to us, came back to us, and he would have been fourth choice this season anyway. I think, I don't know the terms of the deal, but for me, it's more a case of he was 8.5 million. I don't know if Lee's got a buyback clause, but the way I see it is this: he's going to get starts. You don't pay a record amount for a player and then not start him. He's in regular football, first of all. Cardiff, the teams, I know it's not a lady assumption, but teams that get promoted are generally the first teams you think are going to get relegated. It's just, obviously last season Buck trained, obviously with QPR going down, but in all honesty, I thought QPR should have gone down the season before anyway. They just stayed dead by one more season, I guess. But for me, I think, they honestly they will go down. I'm hoping I hope they don't. I have to like the city of Cardiff. Been there a few times. Cardiff's a city of rocks, but chances are they could go down. So Uh, if they do, maybe get a buyback clause, I don't know. But it's a good deal for him. It's a good deal for the club, 9 million. And it's a good deal for Cardiff. And I really wish him well. And I don't think he'd get many games. He definitely wouldn't start getting any league starts anyway. And that's your bread and butter. So who knows? Maybe we'll end up buying him back. Like, I don't know, Liverpool tried to buy back Thomas Sense. I don't know. So that's an interesting thing. Obviously, the timing isn't great because obviously we've lost Tongan to injury. He's probably out for 4 or 5 weeks. Yunus Kabul, I have no idea the state of his injury. Obviously, fears are he could have a new deadly injury. Because he was out for a whole season. That's a long time to be out. How that affects his fitness, his form. Well, A, it's a question of fitness, and B, will he able to recapture that form? Me personally, I don't see him starting till October, personally. And form-wise, we don't know if that's going to return or not. So we only have one fit centre half. And I know Zeke Fries did play centre half came on, I think, against Sunderland. But, you know, is he going to be fully fit? Is he going to be someone you can play? I mean, Hudson, really? Hasn't played centre half in about, what? As far as I'm aware, ever, really. I think, for Spurs, I think once in the, 8 years he's been at the club. So, for me, anyway, I just don't see him being obviously we're linked to that Cringes guy, who's a couple years older. Obviously, he has a bit more Champions League experience, so I don't know why. Maybe I could be just didn't fancy him. He wasn't going to get started, definitely. One of those things, really, but I think it's a good deal for him. So, yeah. Um, so we play Monaco tomorrow at Stade Louis II Stadium. Monaco are an interesting team. Obviously, financial fair play is kind of gone out the window, really, with them. But I think they will reduce their losses because they bought a whole bunch of those. That wasn't me breaking wind. That actually was thunder outside. Um, Obviously, a storm's coming from somewhere. That would explain why it's so hot and humid right now. You've got, say, what was I saying for that? Thunder rudely interrupted me. No, I think you've got Fries who can play there. Brinches looks like a decent player. So we'll see if that proposition is sorted. It's not ideal, but anyway, with Monaco, we're talking about Monaco. Sorry, Monaco. They've signed. What was it? How many players? Been Hulk, Rodriguez, Moutinho, Falcao. Essentially, what I think 4 ex-Porto players, either current or ex-Porto players. I'm not sure Rodriguez was there when AVB was there. They've signed Carvalho, so that's 5 players that speak Portuguese. They've signed 2 Alan, that's 6. They've signed about Abidal. Don't have Abidal the same player or not, because obviously the guy's a survivor. I mean, having liver cancer and managing to get through that is amazing. But 6, 7 players, and you've got to integrate that into a whole team. It's very difficult, and I think it'll be an interesting thing to see how that goes. And obviously they're playing in a stadium. I don't know how big Monaco Stadium actually is. I think it's like 20,000. Monaco, an interesting club actually. Obviously 2004, they're Champions League runners up, and was it 6, 7 years later they were relegated from the French top division. And it's interesting because obviously being the Principality of Monaco, it's tax free. You can earn, so 100,000 there I think costs 300,000 anywhere else in France. And a lot of those French people saying, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. And they'll say, alright then, cool, try it. We'll take it to court. And believe me, if this goes to court, trust me on this, I think Monaco are going to win this, hands down. So but they're basically doing stuff, getting away with it, and it's kind of underhanded, but hey, if it works, it works. Speaking of doing underhanded things, Real Madrid, you know what, the master thing is interesting. It's interesting because here's the thing. I don't like watching Spanish football. Not because I think it's technical. It's just that because the way that their funding is, they have individual club deals. That means that I think the bulk of the cash goes to Barcelona and Real Madrid. And obviously you want to play to those guys, but it doesn't feel like a level playing field. So I have no interest in. I mean, apart from El Clasico, which I will watch, I have no interest in watching Spanish football. I just don't think there's a level playing field there, which is why I don't watch it. I personally think that if they want to go there, let them go there. And apparently Levy wants 100 million cash, and it's Alvaretta and Jesse and all kinds of stuff. First, I think he's going to go. The guy went home to Cardiff. I don't know if he was training, maybe they gave him a day off. So, a couple of days off, and he went home to Cardiff, to Nando's. I think that's it all, doesn't it? He's a family guy. He's down to earth, and I think the fact that he needs to get back, unless he's going to get a private jet and helicopter, I don't think he wants to really be risking his girlfriend and his child in a private jet and helicopter. As safe as they are, I think he pretty much wants to be near his family. And the thing is, I'm not saying he won't be the star of the show. When you pay X amount of money for any player, you've got to make him a star. But Cristiano Ronaldo, people think he's going to go back to Man United. Will he? I mean, he's on what, 2 million a week? Not saying he's not on that, but he's on an incredibly high deal. So, obviously, are they going to renew his deal? Are they saying, we want Bale? Or, Bale's not, you ask for money, yeah, but Bale can ask for, we can easily sell you on and get Bale. A lot of things going on. For me personally, I just don't see him going. And not because I don't think he doesn't want to, but I think Levy just won't, and Levy will just ask for the most difficult term in the world. He'll probably say, look, you want him? 100 million plus that Moss guy or whatever his name is. And that's when he'll do that. And Levy is the kind of person that'll do that. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. I'm hoping that they're backing off, because they wanted Ribery. They really did everything they could to get Ribery. I mean, as much of a draw as they say Zidane is for say Bale. Imagine what the draw for Zidane is to say someone like Ribery. You know, both from Olympique Marseille, both of French and North African descent. You know, so but in the end, as I say, obviously Bayern Munich, a lot bigger than we are, way bigger than we are. But I still think that he's going to stay personally. Obviously, we've got sort of centre halves. If we don't get that Quinches guy because of what that guy from the Romanian club owner said, again, I'm not saying anything about guys being to prison, trust me on that. Then definitely, I'm thinking that Alderweireld, someone we could end up looking to sign, and we'll see how it goes. I still think this is probably the strongest Spurs squad that I can remember. I think definitely, obviously, I was kind of worried, and the whole was it 2 years ago when we had was Lucas staying or not, and that was a whole settling period, and it was a really poor start again. And Tottenham did have that. Last season we had a poor start, and I think that cost us Champions League, really, more than anything else, apart from Steve Steadwell, cheating bastard, Steve Steadwell and Sebastian Larsson. Sorry, not cheating bastards, just anyway. Do not mean any offence. Please don't sue me. But I still think, if you don't win your home games, Wigan, Norwich, Stoke, Fulham, you know, West Brom. I mean, let's face it, from 15 points, we got 2 from 15, a maximum of, 9 points? And from home games, from those 5 home games, I'm not saying that we have a right to win every home game, and that's why the Premier League so interesting, that teams can lose at home. They can end up dropping points, and that's what makes the Premiership so interesting, and that's what makes it such a great league to play in. It's such a level playing field. I still think that I think Spain will stay. I think Spain was really built on the house of cards. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the days of like Deportivo and who were the other team? Was it Valencia? I think it was Valencia. They won the league title as well in 2004. Days of those guys being out of challenge. I'm not saying it's over, but I don't see it happening. I don't see outside of not for the foreseeable future anyone outside of Barca or Real Madrid win the league. That's just my 2 cents in the matter. Take from that what you will, really. And I think obviously he's got a chance to be something great. He'll be the star of the show. Plus, being close to home, and he's got. I know. And I was watching the other day that West Ham game. I love when we beat West Ham. I don't know why. I think they hate us so much that even though we're really indifferent about them, that's what makes it so enjoyable. We do beat them. And that goal and the way he ran for ABB, he's got a very good relationship with the gaffer. He obviously is very, very close to him, and obviously there's rumours that because Corker, his agent, belongs to the same stable of agents that they are, that's what's told him. I don't think it would be that unprofessional. But then again, I wouldn't put it against us to do that. I think what it boils down to is that Bale's a great player. I don't see him losing value, and if he doesn't have an amazing season this season, Real Madrid will look at someone else. I genuinely do think that. So either way, we can't lose. If he has an amazing season, we can still ask for 120 odd million for him next year. If he doesn't, then I think we've still got enough quality, and Real Madrid will piss off and go somewhere else. So I think Levy, if you look at it that way, I think Levy will keep him. On the side note, maybe end up waiting for some YouShubes pretty quickly. Sorry, it's been a bit of a long one, half an hour. But for those, I'm sorry it's so long, but you know what? The average podcast is about half an hour anyway, so I'm sorry about that. But definitely, if you go to DVSoft, you can download this anyway. Just install it in your computer. It actually gives you an option to like download MP3, so if you want to hear my dulcet North London tones, by all means, that's great. Please tweet about this. We'd love to hear what Super Spurs and Major Hank, Wally Batsy, my mate Kevin G think about this. And on a side note, I have a nephew, his name is Biplop. His good name is Rafqul Islam, and that's his Arabic name. He's 20 years old. We found out he had cancer last year, cancer of the spine. He had back pain, really bad back pain. We just thought it was a muscle injury or spinal injury. So that's with a tumour. He had a load of treatment. Unfortunately, this cancer spread. So please just send your good wishes and your prayers if you are of a praying nature to please keep him in there. And he's my nephew, 22 years old, he's a good kid and I love him, and I would really appreciate if you can do that. So on that note, I'd like to thank you for listening. I really enjoyed doing this. In terms of what we'll do tomorrow, Monaco, I think it'll be a 4-3-3, Addy up front. Wow. Oh, the thunder happened as soon as I said Addy. Is that a portent to bring the thunder? I don't know. But Chadley and Lennon on either side. I'm not sure Palhinha is fit enough to start. I mean, in terms of match fitness, but the only way you get match fitness is start playing matches. So we'll see how that goes. I think Palhinha, Dembele, and Holtby, and we'll see how that one pans out. And so I think that's how it'll go. Because I just, I don't think Sandra's anywhere fit. If they're not going to be Holtby, I think it's most likely to be what's his name? What is his name? What is your name? I think it will most likely be Parker, but I think he'll go for 4-3-3. Back four, that'd be interesting. Doors, maybe Fries at centre half or Huddleston. Who knows? Carl Walker, Cole Norton at right back, Benny or Rose at left back, and I think Hugo Lloris will definitely play. Norton's played for a week before, and I think I want to show what he did to Monaco. So yeah. Anyway, love talking to you guys, and I don't know if it's important, but since I love speaking to you guys, the heavens have opened. Yeah, it's pissing down. It's a great summer. Anyhow, thank you for listening, and as always, come on you Spurs. Yeah, that was actually, I timed that. I saw some lightning, and therefore I thought the thunder was hit. It wasn't as loud. Anyway, really enjoyed chatting to you, and yeah, hit me up. Twitter, I'm the Real Shaban on Twitter, and if you can find me on Facebook, do so. Send me a message if you want, and I'll add you on Facebook. Anyway, love listening to you guys, love talking to you guys, and thank you for listening. And that double side, that amazing double side, look at it. Some amazing players there. It's probably great side in our history. I don't know, with a bit of luck and a bit of success, I really genuinely think that who knows, if we keep Bale, we keep strengthening, we could have a side as good as this. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and as always, come on you Spurs.